Hi, and welcome back to the third and final part of the Latvian alphabet. Are you ready? Okay, let's go.
O has three pronunciations in Latvian. First, at the end of the words like kino, metro, and eiro, we use the long O. We use the short O in words that we have imported from other languages like oligarchia, organizācija, or okupācija. But mostly, we use the diphthong ua, found in words like ola, which means an egg, oga, which means berry, and ogot, which is a verb which means to collect berries in a forest, and which also could be a Latvian national sport, because just as summer rolls around, Latvians flock to the forest to collect everything that it has to offer, and so our markets become filled with ogas, like wild blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, but also mushrooms. And not many know this, but uogošana also has transformative powers. Take Latvian grandma, for example. She might complain that her day-to-day life is hard with her bad legs and bad back and poor vision, but let that Latvian grandma run wild in a forest with a basket and she will gain super speed, super vision, and in one day will collect literal truckloads worth of uogas as well as mushrooms. My grandma. Next up, we have pe, found in words like Paldies, which means thank you, or pāda, which as we know already means foot. Funny story. When I was in second grade, we had to learn how to write pareizi, or correctly, and so we had to write down stories that the teacher would dictate to us. One of these stories was about a rabbit called Pēdiņš, or Rabbit Littlefoot. Now, in writing and also in pronunciation, you should always use the long vowels where they are needed. Otherwise, you could end up like my friend, who forgot in this situation, and we laughed for him years after the fact. So instead of writing about Rabbit Pēdiņš, which means Rabbit Littlefoot, my friend wrote a story about Rabbit Pēdiņš, which means Rabbit the Faggot. Yep, remember your long vowels. You'll say Paldies later. Then we have r. Yes, we roll our r's in Latvian. So for example, in words like rupjmaize, which means rye bread, which you should definitely try when you're visiting Latvia. And also in words like rupucis, which is a cute way of saying bruņu rupucis, which means a turtle. And of course, Riga, the capital of Latvia. Culture capital of Europe, this beautiful, beautiful city was founded in 1201. If you like history like me, you'll be happy to know that Riga has some awesome museums to offer. For example, the Museum of History of Riga and Navigation, the Latvian Occupation Museum, some KGB buildings, and many amazing art museums. And, as I found out when preparing for this video, also a museum of vodka, so there you go. Up next, we have S, found in words like sveiki, which means hi, and sula, or juice. This one is a handy word to know if you want to order some sula at a restaurant. So for example, you would go, sveiki, can I have some sula please? And then the waiter might bring you beer. And then you'd be like, but I ordered sula. And then the waiter would say, alus arī ir sula, or beer is also juice. And then your Latvian friend would say to the waiter, this is unacceptable, this is complete sviests. And then if you're wondering why your Latvian friend is calling your beer that was supposed to be juice butter, know that in Latvia, by sviests, by butter, we mean something that is completely absurd. Shh! That's the next letter. Next up, we have the soft S, which is sh, with a little hat. My favorite words that start with esh is šņakt, which means to hiss, or šņācējčūska, which I'm not sure if it exists as a real word, but the literal translation would be a hissing snake or a hiss snake. But if you would like to show off to your friends by learning one of the hardest words in the Latvian language, you can say to them šaursliežu dzelzceļš, which means a narrow road railway. I can't even say it in English. That's one of the tongue twisters we have in Latvian. So again, šaursliežu dzelzceļš. You're welcome. Up next, te, like tirgus or market, a significant part of Latvian culture. We are a people of tirdzniecība or commerce. Built between 1924 and 1930, the Riga Central Tirgus is now part of the UNESCO World Heritage Program. This giant tirgus is 72,300 square meters large, and you can buy everything from cebureki to local produce, things crafted by artisans in Latvia and things imported from elsewhere. But note, as in any tirgus, be prepared for it to get loud because tarkšķēšana or jabbering is an essential part of the experience. Then comes U. No, not really. U is what comes next. Found in words like ugunskrusts, which is another selectenist made up of the word uguns, fire, and krusts, which means a cross, and it looks like this. No, this is not Nazi memorabilia, this is much older and goes the other way. The fire cross or thunder cross is an ancient pagan Latvian symbol, which symbolizes the sun, the light, protection, and never-ending energy. We are quite sad that this symbol became associated with the Nazis, which has led to people making assumptions about our use of ugunskrusts as well. Up next, we have U. U is found in words like ujināt, which means to call ooh loudly like we imagine owls do. Our politicians have mastered the art of ujināšana, as demonstrated by the ex-parliamentary politician Solvita Abotiņa, who made the news for ujināšana at the Pensioner Federation, who were protesting outside of our parliament building. Take a look. Ve is found in words like varans, which means great, valsts, which means state, and valoda, which means language. Latvia is a varana valsts. Our valoda, Latvian, is in fact one of the oldest valodas in the world. It belongs to the Indo-European valoda tree and is part of the Baltic branch. Together with the Lithuanian, they are the only two valodas surviving from this branch. And that's why they are also different from all other valodas that exist. So no, Latvian is not like Russian. Not even close. Then we have ze, found in words like zaglis, which means a thief, and zeke, which means a sock. In fear of zagli, many Latvians like to keep their nauda at home in a zeke, instead of trusting Latvian banks, which, as you might have heard, have been closing down one after the other after scandals of corruption and money laundering. As they say, as literally no one says, but they might as well say, better zeke than sorry. And finally we have že, the soft version of z. So in Latvia, if children have been bad all year, they get žagari or branches for Christmas. There is also žauna, which means a gill of a fish, which is sometimes used as a synonym for mouth, in the quite stark and insulting request to shut your žauna. But if you prefer something nicer, you can use žužu, which is part of the Latvian lullaby Aja žužu lāča bērni, or Žu sleep well, children of the bear. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video about learning the Latvian alphabet as well as a little bit about my wonderful country. If you have comments or questions, express them, and I'll see you again maybe soon.